Here's a review I wasn't planning to do today. I'm John Hayeck and welcome to my movie thoughts. The Cloverfield Paradox. So this is a movie that was originally called God Particle and then was also called Cloverfield Station or something like that. It was supposed to come out a year ago now in February of 2017. Then it was pushed to October 2017. Then it was pushed to February of 2018, which is, hey, this month, February 2nd, 2018. Then they kind of took it off the release schedule. Maybe Netflix would be acquiring it. Maybe it would be moving to April when Paramount would still distribute it. We didn't really know what was going to happen with it. But then during the Super Bowl today, a trailer, 30-second spot aired saying that it was going to be streaming on Netflix very soon and it was going to be called The Cloverfield Paradox. And then reports came out, I think Deadline was the first one to say it, that after the Super Bowl, the movie would just be streaming on Netflix immediately. And I personally have always thought it would be a really cool idea to just have a movie drop in theaters like randomly. Like a movie people are actually excited for, just like randomly released like 2 weeks early or something, or just randomly be in the theater like when you weren't expecting it. That's exactly what happened with this movie. It was just dropped on Netflix completely randomly and then we got to enjoy it. Now, I'm a big fan of the Cloverfield movies. I think the original one, directed by Matt Reeves, USC one, fight on Matt Reeves, is really good. It's not like it completely taking any new risks or anything like that. It feels like a pretty standard found footage movie, but it's still very entertaining movie. 10 Cloverfield Lane, I loved. I thought it was an amazingly original film that felt super exciting, thrilling, completely energetic adventure all the way through its entirety. I thought it was just amazing. It was one of my top 10 movies of that year. Absolutely awesome. So then we come in with the Cloverfield Paradox. And I enjoyed this movie, if I'm being honest. I didn't think it was great. It wasn't like breaking any new ground or anything. It wasn't like the first two Cloverfield movies, but it was pretty cool in its own right. I think it feels a lot like Alien or even kind of like that movie Life that came out last year, and even Gravity to some extent, where what happens basically in this movie is you've got Gugu Mbatha-Raw, who you know from, she was in an episode of Black Mirror, she's been in a few other things here and there, a lot of television roles, and what happens is she has a husband back on Earth, and she's in the space station, and they're working on kind of this particle accelerator that once they try out goes a little bit wrong, and then some weird stuff starts to happen involving her situation on the space station. The other scientists are kind of confused by some things. Weird stuff starts happening, and she's trying to communicate with her husband back on Earth. That's what I tell you guys to avoid any spoilers. That's kind of the general idea of what's going on in the movie. And again, the movie does borrow from Alien and from Life and from Gravity a little bit in the terms of, oh, it's in space, it's kind of a close environment, like some freaky stuff starts to happen, the body count starts to rise a little bit. But I do feel like this movie looks so visually astounding that it feels a bit more real and a bit more mysterious than a lot of the other movies. The use of color contrast really feels like it's highlighting the kind of wishy-washy one way or the other nature that you aren't really sure where the movie's going to go, and I think the colors really make it feel that way. I also feel Gugu Mbatha-Raw gives an incredible performance, being emotionally torn in some scenes, being very confused in some scenes, being the smartest person in the room in other scenes. Fantastic job on her part, and I think this movie does tie into the Cloverfield universe very well. The first two movies are very much kind of in their own kind of pocket universes. This one feels directly related to the Cloverfield incident. It feels like it has a lot of the science behind why the Cloverfield monster kind of appeared and everything, and for fans of the Cloverfield franchise that are looking for that, they will definitely get it in this movie. So guys, I think that the Cloverfield Paradox used science really well. I think that its lead performance was really good, had a great visual style, but it was a little bit unoriginal in some parts. I did really enjoy it, and I think if you're a fan of the Cloverfield universe, you'll really like it. If you're a fan of sci-fi, you'll probably like it. If you don't like sci-fi at all, you probably won't like it, but I would say give it a shot since it's right on Netflix for you guys right now, and I'm going to give the Cloverfield Paradox a B+. Be sure to let me know all of your guys' thoughts on the Cloverfield Paradox in the comment section down below. You guys can go over to mymoviethoughts.com, follow me on Twitter at JohnMHayeck, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for tons more posts from me as well. Links, all three of those are in the description down below. You guys can also like this video, comment on it, share with some friends. I am John Hayeck, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching.